and I fucked around and hit the RPM too hard. And that shit went all the way to the red because I took my eye off the motherfucking wheel and looked at the road before I looked at the wheel and made sure I put the gas, I took the RPM back down to 0. But I looked to the right, focused on the traffic. I forgot I still had my foot on the gas. So when I looked back, that shit was way to the red. I said, oh, fuck. And then when I took my foot off the gas, that's when I heard that. I said, yeah, I fucked up the pistons. I blew the pistons a little bit. I bit something because I hit it. I had it on the red too long. It's just definitely bit some shit. So I knew it was my fault. If I would never did that and took my eye off the wheel for 2 seconds to look at the traffic, when I had hit the RPM, I tapped the RPM 3 times. If you tap your RPM 3 times while you driving, it's gonna push the RPM up so you can have a quicker torque. How do you know that? That's how you get torque. When you're in a race with a nigga, you tap the RPM 3 times and let it ride. It's gonna jump up 3 gears. It's gonna jump up 3 gears. So I jumped the RP up too high and let it ride and took my eye off the road. And I forgot I jumped up the gears. See, if I would have had 1 gear, I would have been all right. When I jumped up the 3 gears and I had the RPM going up, it's already pushing the pistons, right? It's pushing pressure. So I'm already like, damn, I noticed I fucked up. I turned my head back to the fucking dash and I saw that shit was way up to the peak. I say, fuck, and it's on the 3 gear. I say, yeah, I bet. I know I bet some shit. And then I heard that ying, 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 ying. I said, yeah, it's fucked. I had to get this shit retuned from the inside of the engine. You had to rebuild the whole engine. Yep. It was my fault why that happened. You see, if I would never did the RPM of rev 3 taps to keep the torque, I would have been straight. And I would have still had the car side. I fucked around and did it myself. I damaged that car. It ain't locked. The mechanic said locked up. Yeah, after the fact. It wasn't supposed to be locked. I changed the oil on time. I had a recent oil change that same month. And I had just added some oil. And I just changed some shit. So it was, and I just changed the starter. So I knew it wasn't the engine. So he thought it was oil. Yeah, oil was low. Nah. That wasn't the oil. The oil was straight, nigga. The engine got enough oil in there. All they do is add more oil in there. There was enough oil in that pan. Trust me. It was that. When I hit that RPM, and I tapped the RPM 3 times on the rail, and then I let it ride without taking my foot off the acceleration. That shit blew the pistons. That's why I did to that kid. I locked the crank up. You feel me? If I would never did that dumbass shit that night, I was coming home from work at 11 o'clock that night. I get off at 11 o'clock. I was coming home from work with my little food and everything. I had my little food for the restaurant and all. I was coming upstairs. I say, damn, I'm about to go get it to the mechanic. I thought it was just an oil or whatever, some little shit to be changed. Man, it was the whole engine was locking up on me slowly. I locked some shit up by mistake in that bitch because I hit the RPM 3 times and I let it get on the red line. When that shit hit the red line, it hit the red line over 3 seconds more. If it tapped the red line, cool, you good. But if that shit hit the red line and it stays on the red line, you ain't paying attention. And that shit was on there for like at least 5 more seconds extra, you gonna fuck some shit up on that bitch. And that's what I did to that kid. My dumb ass I tried to do a torque run and then try to test the torque. And I hit the RPM 3 times. Normally I do that sometimes and it still run. I did it a couple of times and there was nothing wrong with the engine. It just was still running normal. But when I did it this time, I had looked to the right because I thought there was traffic coming. And I forgot to have my foot on the gas. I said, oh shit, I had took my foot off the gas a little too late with the RPM hit the red line. Yep, 5 seconds more after that shit. That's when I knew I fucked some shit up in the kid. So that's why I locked it up myself. It wasn't supposed to be locked up. There was nothing wrong with that engine. Nigga was supposed to be locked up. That shit wasn't locked when I had it running back home. And I knew it was something broken. I broke some shit. Hold up. Yeah, shit. So the mechanic thought it was locked because that was the only thing he could figure it out. But nah, nigga, I fucked some shit up in that crankbait. So I bought the other one at the the LS. That shit came back. I drove that bitch a few times. I drove it home, drove out the parking lot a few times. Shit with no problems. I was surprised. All that did, it was add some oil in that bitch. All that smoke disappeared. That shit was running perfect. I'm talking about, they said I'm doing 60, 80, 90. That shit was moving too. Sports mode, all that was working. Yeah, yeah. So that LS was really perfect. It wasn't broken because I ain't push it that hard to break. It was the sensors when you driving when you driving enough. Once you first get it back on the road, that's when the sensors gonna kick in because all that old dusty oil and transmission fluid is probably just now running out low. So that's when all your sensors don't start kicking in. That's what any used sit down car gonna go through. The first few weeks, it's gonna drive perfectly. It's gonna drive like it's nothing wrong with it. After you just get it off on the road for the first time in months. Yeah, yeah, nigga, that's what the fuck that shit went through. So when niggas be talking like, oh, he don't know what he doing. He buying cars, don't know what cars he buying. Shut the fuck up. Niggas don't know what the fuck they be talking about. You know what I'm saying? My stepdaddy showed me how to fix cars. My granddaddy showed me how to fix cars. Shut the fuck up, nigga. You don't know me. Nigga, I took mechanic at Miami Central High School. I had mechanic class. I had to read about cars. I studied cars and I had to take a class. I had to take the exam. Nigga, I had to take the. I had mechanic at Miami Central High. I know about that because you had to know about Miami. Nigga, you had to know about the high school. The only niggas that know about Miami Central know that school had a mechanic class. The green niggas ain't gonna know. They just gonna try to figure me out. Changing tires and all, nigga, with the tire machine and all. Nigga, I had to do all that in the mechanic class. I had in Miami Central. Miami Central got everything in that mechanic. It's a look, you go to Miami Central on the left hand side. Where is that? How the fuck I know where the class located? Once you go into the school, it's on the left hand side of the whole goddamn school. It's on the far left. And when you go on the far left, it's like a whole garage. And then you're gonna have a class with seats, with chairs and tables. And you're gonna see they got the tire shop in there too. You can change the tires. They teach you all that shit. It was a black brother. He was a black teacher. He had gray hair. I don't know where he probably gone now. He was by that time, he was already 40, 50. So hold up. Like he was in his 40s or 50s. I had that class for the whole year. It was called an elective. It was my elective class for my 2011, it was my 11th grade year. I went to go to, what's up, people? I went to go, I had to do mechanic for a whole year. How you think me and my homeboy was able to change the starter? We could have changed the alternator too. We just ain't do it because we had to realize what it was. And niggas that's talking, they ain't got no goddamn experience. Shit, my man, my homeboys on the niggas downstairs fixing the motherfucking car. Where them other niggas was at? Nowhere to help. Fuck you talking about, nigga? Shit, it was just me and my two homeboys, about 3 or 4 of us. Same circle I've been around. We the only ones fixed that damn starter, nigga. That shit, then we did everything. We didn't realize it was I told my dog, I said it was the engine. I fucked it up. I knew it because it was my fault. That's why I wasn't too upset about what I did. Because I know it was my fault. Now, it was like some regular shit. I would have been mad as hell. Like, damn, what the fuck wrong with this car? But and I could have saved it. All they do is take it to the dealership. Because all I had to do when that shit started whining, that same week, I would have just called my boss and told my boss, let me go drive to Doral right quick. All I do is just drive like 20 miles per hour to Doral. Right down 36th Street is a dealership right there. Take the shit to the Kia dealership. They would have looked at the engine and told me what the fuck the problem was and how much it would have cost them. And they probably would have did it for me for free because they had a recall. I ain't want to keep the engine. That's why I ain't do all that. I could have kept the car and took it to the dealership and just got a brand new engine. I would have took more time, but I would have did it. So I say, and the mechanic say, I was you. He said, don't even buy no new engine. Don't even get none because he said it's gonna happen again. He said these cars, these GDIs is not no good. He said they only built these shits in the manufacturer to only last for a certain amount of miles. I said, for real? He said, yeah, bro. He said them GTIs don't even go up to 300,000 miles. So you will be sick and crazy looking at that shit. Like, damn, you can't even make it for the long jeopardy. Them GDIs is trash. You can maintain it though, as long as you could, but them shit's trash, dog. You start losing power and shit. I would have just get a BMW. I would just get a BMW N62, the old engine, the one that's better than the N60. No, my bad, the N60. What it was, N52, the older BMW engine versus the cheap, the ones that be fucking up on that what 645 2006 CI, that old ass block, big ass V8. That shit trash. Don't never get that engine. You ever get a 5 Series, stay away from that engine. The 62, you ever see a 62 in the 5 Series or a 6 Series of an old school BMW, do not get an N62. Them shit's trash. Make sure they got an N52 inside, because sometimes the 5 Series, they'll trick you. Like, oh, it look nice. And then you open the hood, it's a whole N62 in that motherfucker. With all them still seal problems. You're gonna be dealing with a lot of hell. I open that hood, I better see a 52 or something else. I think it's what, 53, 52, something like that. Yeah. That's the one with the six cylinders. They ain't got that much problems to deal with. It's a V6. It's a regular V6. It ain't all that extra shit, all that V8. And if you're gonna get an M4, you better just get you if you're gonna get anything, you better go get you the newer V10. Shit, if I'm gonna get let's say I'm gonna get a M5, right? If I'm gonna get an M5 5 Series, I want to at least get at least the V10. The V10 is still almost the same problems and worse too, because it's still that old look. Like it still remind you of the N62. The same shit. It's just a V10 or the V8. It's the same components, the same stem cell problems, but more trouble. Why? Twin turbos. I know about that shit already, bro. You got V10s. That's the M5s and all that. You gotta request that. That's the V10s. You better see that a lot. You better see that a lot in the BMWs. Because nobody ain't selling that shit like that. They want to keep it. Yeah, that's the V10s. You see it online, yeah, you might find one. It's gonna be expensive. hmm That's the only way I get a BMW, because I want to test out the V10 engines, see how powerful that shit is. And if I ever get a Mercedes Benz, I'm going for the S550 V12 or something, nigga. I don't want the regular S550. I don't want no regular V8, nigga. I want the V. Give me the full package. Give me the V12. I want that shit. When you see me pull up, they gonna say V12 on the side of that motherfucker. Like, you feel me? That's the S model I want. If I'm gonna spend any money on a Mercedes, nigga, give me the V12. I want the full package. Hold up, nigga. Cause I want to enjoy it. I want the full shit. Like I did all the other cars I caught. I want the full V8 LS. I want the full, you know what I'm saying, package. I want to try out the V8. I tried out the 645 V8. I had that for a while. I want to try some new shit. I want to try the V12. I'm gonna try the V12. It's like, well, think about it. I would get the Mercedes Benz V12 than the Lamborghini. It's the same speed limit. Twin turbo V12. You get you the same thing with a Lamborghini engine. All they did, all they doing is using the V12. Some cars, them big ass foreign trucks and shit. They all they doing is sharing the same speed horsepower. You get the Mercedes Benz S. What it is? Let me see. Hold on. Let me see something. Watch this. If I'm gonna spend any payments for a car, like I had to do, let's say I'm gonna give my Mercedes Benz brand new at the dealership, right? And I just want to try something for myself, like want to treat myself something. Man, I'm going for the biggest engine. I ain't gonna get no Mercedes Benz with a regular V6. I would just go buy that shit off the street. I buy that shit off the street. Hello? Yeah. Yeah. It's weird. Yeah. 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 See? Yeah. I want to know what I said. It's too much information. So why you want to come to what I said so bad for? Oh, what the hang out? Hang out somewhere. That's all I was confused. Hang out in my house. Hey, come on, go out there in the streets and go to the bar. Hang out in the house. That part. No, you just came out of prison too. I don't know what you got going on with Steve. Why you would go to my house so bad for? Then he told me, oh, I could get a crown bottle. What a girls. Like, look, my nigga told me all this already. Then I have a man too close to you. So, why you didn't want to just hang out with me and we go to go that weekend? Like, one day weekend. Like, I'm trying to tell you, like, I mean, go hang out with the family or you know, they cooking or why you ain't trying to ask, hey, let's match something. You got a barbecue grill at Johnny House. You could get something like that, like bag stuff. You know, bring a new beer, go to Johnny House. Go to our house, you can sit down with Johnny. Yeah, yeah. You can just you really mashed up. You got some food and just grill out. You just cook inside. You can ask for fried chicken wings. I could have made that down. Yeah, it's food stamp card. That's what I'm saying. Come over here, though. Well, you probably find it, bro. Whatever. Yeah, that's really good. Chick. Ah, envy of signals. Yeah, like you showing me envy signals. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like almost like, oh, you sure you gonna do? You know what you doing with the concrete? You sure you gonna do all that? You like you trying to like push me down, like you know what I'm saying? Like you trying to push me away from basically
Camry has Toyota's 2.5-liter four-cylinder engine, and at around 80,000 miles, he decides to move away from the factory-recommended 0W20 and try 5W30 instead. And his reasoning is actually similar to what a lot of people online have been debating lately. He points out that Toyota recommends thinner oils like 0W20 in North America, largely for fuel economy reasons. But in other markets, the same engine is approved for noticeably thicker oils depending on climate and driving conditions. On top of that, he was already noticing these things before the switch. Minor valve train noise during cold starts, some extra noise under load, and most interestingly, a burning oil smell after climbing hills with passengers in the car. Then he does the cold start after the switch. You can actually hear the difference in the clip.
I uploaded in this video my track to SoundCloud that I made the platform. I think 100% of my royalties. SoundCloud doesn't take a cut. And with fan support, they can support me directly. I went from making music.
Definitely quieter and less whine and less tappity noise. Definitely seems a bit smoother, but also sometimes just changing to a new oil also makes the engine run happier. But I can definitely hear it's definitely smoother, and today is harder too than the day I filmed the other startup video clip.
Now, to be fair, sound alone is not scientific proof of reduced engine wear. A quieter engine does not automatically mean dramatically better protection, but at the same time, mechanical noise is still useful feedback. Valve train noise, in particular, is heavily influenced by oil film thickness and damping characteristics. A slightly thicker oil can cushion metal-to-metal contact a little better, especially in engines that already have some mileage on them. After that, he puts the car into the exact type of driving condition that originally concerned him, uphill driving with passengers under load. And after the drive, the burning oil smell is gone. He also repeats that the engine feels quieter and smoother overall. Now again, this does not prove 5W30 magically eliminated wear or solved the mechanical problem, but it does suggest the engine may have been operating closer to the edge of the oil's thermal comfort zone during heavy use with 0W20. A thicker oil at operating temperature can reduce volatility and may resist thinning slightly better during sustained heat exposure. That can influence noise, oil consumption behavior, and even odors for less oil vapors reaching hot surfaces. The next owner takes the argument even further, and this time we're dealing with Toyota's 5.7-liter V8, an engine already known for durability. He owns a 2013 Toyota Sequoia with about 157,000 miles, and he also repeated the same oil change experiment on a much newer 2021 Toyota Tundra Platinum with roughly 60,000 miles.
Don't recommend a 20, they call for a 5W30, and in some parts of the world they even call for a thicker viscosity, is my understanding.
And honestly, this is one of the biggest reasons people online are moving towards thicker oils in the first place. Then we get to one of the strongest moments in the video, the actual sound comparison. He records the engine on 0W20 first, then performs the switch to 5W30. After the change, the engine develops a deeper tone and slightly quieter character. Now, once again, we have to separate perception from hard wear data. A lower tone does not prove reduced bearing wear or dramatically better lubrication, but thicker oil can absolutely alter mechanical acoustics. He says he wishes he had switched sooner, that the engine sounds healthier, and that it feels like it is running better. Then he brings up the newer Tundra, saying he had the same positive impression there after 3 months of driving on 5W30. That part is important because it shows this was not just a one-day placebo reaction immediately after an oil change. He continued using the thicker oil and remained convinced afterward. Up to this point, most of the examples have been individual owners describing how their own vehicle felt after switching to a thicker oil. But this next case is different because now we're looking at Ford Tech, a well-known technician at fleet owner, managing more than 200 commercial vehicles. And that changes the discussion completely. Fleet operators don't usually care about internet debates or theoretical arguments. Guys like bearded Ford Tech care about downtime, repair costs, and keeping vehicles alive under non-stop use. In his fleet, he runs multiple GM trucks and SUVs, including Tahoes with the 5.3-liter and 6.2-liter V8s that originally came filled with 0W20. He says the vehicles running 0W20 were the ones developing engine problems, especially lifter failures. Then he switched the fleet over to 5W30, and his statement is very direct. Haven't had a problem since.
Some of the Tahoes that we have in the fleet, they ran 0W20, and we don't like running 0W20 because all the ones that were running 0W20 had engine problems. Switched them all over to 5W30. Haven't had a problem since we switched it over to 5W30. The last one that had a problem was a 2022. It had lifter failure. It was running 0W20.
Now, this is where the conversation becomes much more serious because we're no longer talking about subjective smoothness or startup noise. GM lifter failures are a known real-world issue, particularly on AFM and DFM-equipped engines. These systems rely on complex hydraulic lifters that are extremely sensitive to oil pressure behavior, oil aeration, contamination, and lubrication stability. So when someone like bearded Ford Tech, who sees these engines constantly under heavy commercial use, notices a change after moving to a thicker oil, people pay attention immediately. At the same time, we have to be careful not to oversimplify the cause. Lifter failures can involve manufacturing defects, oil contamination, AFM system complexity, oil change intervals, and even component quality issues. Then he moves into the GM recall discussion and gives an even stronger opinion. Bearded Ford Tech says that if it were his personal truck, especially one affected by recent GM engine concerns, he would run 5W30 instead of the factory 0W20 or even 0W40 in some situations. This next creator takes a completely different approach because he's actually tracking wear metals through oil analysis reports over time, and that changes the conversation from it feels better to at least some measurable data. He owns a GM 3.0-liter Duramax diesel and has been experimenting with different oils for over a year, including multiple 0W20 formulations before eventually moving to Pennzoil 5W30. His motivation started when he noticed something concerning in his oil analysis reports: higher iron wear numbers while running 0W20 oils. Instead of claiming one oil is automatically destroying the engine, he starts comparing trends over multiple oil intervals and normalizes the data per 1,000 miles. That is a much more responsible way to analyze oil reports. He also explains that this truck regularly sees oil temperatures in the 240 to 260 degree Fahrenheit range during towing and daily use. And that detail matters a lot because viscosity behavior changes dramatically as temperature rises. That is one of the main reasons diesel owners, towing owners, and heavy-duty users tend to prefer thicker oils, even when manufacturers move toward lighter grades. Then we get to the most important part of the video, the actual wear comparison. And after normalizing the wear rates, the 5W30 produced noticeably lower iron wear numbers per 1,000 miles.
Hot shots with 8.55 iron per 1,000 miles. Pennzoil 9.37 iron per 1,000 miles. Mobile One 0W20 10.97 iron per 1,000 miles. Pennzoil 5W30 is 7.43 iron per 1,000 miles.
This is probably the strongest data point we have seen so far, because now we are not relying on sound or feel anymore. He is showing numerical trends. And what makes this even more interesting is that the second 5W30 sample actually had more total miles wear metals to continue accumulating with longer intervals. Yet after normalization, the thicker oil still showed lower iron wear trends. That is exactly why he became convinced viscosity was playing a role. He's comparing repeated use patterns over extended intervals. That gives the numbers more credibility. At the same time, his V8 running 0W20 already produces extremely low wear numbers, what he basically calls zero wear. So for that engine, he sees no reason to move thicker at all. That's important because it